Well, good day everyone, and welcome back to Drac's Clubhouse. My name is Henry, and today we are going to maybe get into a little bit of redstone. Not too much, I promise. But the pumpkin and melon farm, well, that farm is generating so much that I don't know what to do with it, so I'm thinking that let's maybe turn it into bone meal. And bone blocks, why not? Bone blocks is a nice block to build with, don't you think? So let's see if we can get to do that. I've got a little bit of redstone, I've got a little bit of quartz, but before we can do anything at all, we are going to need to dig out the area underneath that farm, because otherwise we're not going to have any space to build. And I do believe the easiest way would be to build underneath the farm, because, well, I'll show you why. Well, the farm is right there, and if we use the portal from spawn to get back to the base, we spawn right up there. So I can't go up above the farm. That will spoil the view. So we're gonna go underneath and see if we can at least make something functional. If not nice, if not beautiful, at least it could be functional. So I am on the server alone, which is kinda strange. Usually this time of the day there is plenty of others online, but that's not a problem. A deal is a deal. 5 recipes. Good evening, Suleiman, and welcome in. Well, starting from the simplest. So while you post your recipes, let me get over to the pumpkin and melon farm. Because this farm is really, well, it's kind of more productive than I actually needed it to be. And that means we are going to need to do a little something to, yes, just to turn these resources into something more useful. And now I did kind of forget. 4/5 dark matter, 1/5 gas, 75% hydrogen, 25% helium. Needs about 25 billion years. Not too much. Recipe for a galaxy. Well, I'm trying to think of something witty to say to that, and I simply can't. It is absolutely true. The thing is, well, if it was easy to make a galaxy, because that recipe makes it sound oh so easy. But if it was that easy, why don't we make our own? So this is going to be kind of more complicated than I initially thought. Believe it or not, this is the simplest for the day. There's 4 more. So let's get going. Yes, I guess dark matter would be expensive. It's not like you can find it under every stone out there in the wild. Alrighty-o. We need to dig out quite a bit of this. And well, I think that's too far. Let's go right here. We just want to dig out everything underneath these rails. So I believe that should be a big enough area. So what we want to do, we want to have I think 2 item filters, one for melon slices, one for pumpkins. And then the melon slices is going to go into a crafter to make melons. Then I guess I'll have 2 chests just for a little bit of backup. And then the rest will go into a composter to make bone meal. The bone meal will then go into a crafter so that we can craft the bone meal into bone blocks. And then we will just see. I'm not going to AFK over here, but we'll just see how many bone blocks we can get from it over time, of course. Best way to get dark matter is bananas, literally. They emit a bit of dark matter. The issue is it reacts with the normal matter counterpart. Misfit! Welcome in! We are doing a little bit of redstone tonight. Because this pumpkin and melon farm is just so efficient that I kind of don't have a use for all the pumpkins and melons. So, as I was explaining earlier, before you popped in, so we are going to have to set up a few, well, 2 item filters to filter melon slices and pumpkins. Then that item filter will go into a chest for a little bit of backup. Whenever I need pumpkins and melons, I do want to have them available. Then the rest of the pumpkins and melons are going to be fed into a composter to make bone meal. The bone meal will be fed into a crafter to make bone blocks. And yes, that's the plan. I don't know how far we'll get with that tonight, but it is the plan. Because otherwise I'm just going to start wasting the... Well, I've already wasted a lot of pumpkins and melons. But I do have a little bit of a problem here. Because I forgot there's a huge water cave underneath this farm. Which is definitely going to make life a little more difficult. But you know how it is. We don't mind difficult, we'll deal with it. And Yes, we'll deal with difficult. It's just going to be a little bit of a pain. This, I don't know how high should this 4 blocks. Well, Misfit, daily check-in. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Welcome, Misfit. Hello. Welcome in. Thank you so much for checking in. Now we all know you are here. Which is, I guess, the point of the redeems. But that's another thing. I'm going to have to work on those redeems. Some point really soon. I'm going to need to work on them and get a few interesting things up there. Maybe I should also have no shaders for 5 minutes or something. I don't even know what I've got in there at the moment. But you know, Misfit, the no shader thing isn't going to bother me at all because, well, you know how I feel about shaders. I am playing with these shaders now because they are so lightweight and they are so actually for a light shader. These mellow shaders is really awesome, and I must say I am really enjoying them. They change just enough of the game to not be over the top. You say the snow today literally gave you a headache without the shaders. Yes, I kind of missed it. Missed most of it. But I had, obviously, and I'm pretty sure you will agree with me, I had more important things to do today than watching your stream. Not that your stream's not important. I think goes without saying. Your stream is an important part of my day. But I think I just needed to have the little bit of time and spend it the way that I spent it. As you know, I've been working so much lately and I just felt that just having a little bit of time with my wife, just that hour or two, was actually so important to have. Suleiman, seriously, no one has a cup of dark matter in the kitchen? What kind of kitchen is a kitchen without dark matter? You know what, Suleiman, if I had a cup of dark matter in my kitchen, don't you think I would be stinking rich? Yes, she did. And you know the worst part, Misfits, is that she's currently on leave. The place where she works is closed over December's. So she and my son is at home over the holidays, and I'm working. Which definitely isn't nice. But we'll make it work. We'll make do with what we've got. At least I've got Wednesday off. So Misfit, Suleiman and I am speaking about dark matter. Yes, Suleiman, I definitely never said I am not, but let me confess right here, right now, I'm not a multimillionaire. I wish I was, or sometimes I don't wish I was. You think of all the problems that comes with having too much money, everybody always wanting some from you and all that. sometimes I'm glad I'm not a multimillionaire. If that even makes the least amount of sense. That has to be hard. Just spend as much time together as you can. Yes, like I say, I've got Wednesday off. So, we'll be able to spend a little bit of time together. And yes. Okay, Suleiman, go for it. Post the second recipe. I can't wait. And yes, Misfits, I don't want to be rich, but comfortable would be nice. There's always too much month left at the end of the money. Definitely true. I don't think there's anything truer than that. There's always more month than money. But now the other thing, Misfit, also is no matter how much money you do have or how much money you make, you will always find that you don't have enough. I think that's why these super rich people continue trying to just make more money. Because can you ever have enough? You know what? I always say my first job, I earned maybe 20 times, 30 times less than what I'm earning now. And the strange thing is, even with earning that little money, or 30 times less than I do now, I always had money. Now, with a much bigger income, I never have money. And yes, especially this month with Christmas and all that, that is, yes, the money is just never enough. Okay, Suleiman, a dying star, the pressure of about a galaxy, a lot of gravity, and a way to spin it fast. YouTube didn't allow black hole. You must remember that Streamlabs bot. That one is a picky one, and I did look at it. I decided not to deactivate it, but I don't see a notification that it blocked anything. Right, but yes, Misfit, so what is the plans for Christmas? I mean, you had a pretty nice Thanksgiving. What's your plans? What's the plans for Christmas? You have anything special planned? So I don't know, for Christmas usually and I think it is because I work so much and all that, but we usually try to just spend time together with family in the mornings, and in the afternoons we try to just relax, just be together as a family and not do much. Usually I don't make any plans, but the plans are made for me. This water is a problem. Oh, it's not Streamlabs, it's a YouTube thing? Alright. You see, but the other day you posted and you put .exe, and I think Streamlabs picked that up as a possible virus or something. I don't know. Streamlabs gives a warning. This time it just died. Leave client side. Okay, then that must be a YouTube thing. You're right. Misfits, your oldest and his girlfriend are coming over for Christmas Eve. I will make lasagna and cheesecake, then we'll open gifts so they don't have to drive here 2 days in a row. Christmas, we just spend time together. Yes, I prefer that. I prefer just spending time with close family. Not making, you know, when I was growing up, my grandfather was still alive. He usually made a very big thing about it. And these days I don't. I think it's more important to spend that time with close family. And yes. So apparently we are having an ad break. Fortunately, Misfits, you don't need to worry about it. Now I am currently I'm still playing around a lot with the Twitch settings and things. The ads, I don't really like having too much ads, too many ads, but I think currently it's set to 3 minutes of ads every hour, which I feel isn't too over the top. The only reason why I've got the 3 minutes per hour is that's the least I can have without the pre-roll ads playing every time somebody comes into the stream. And I find those more annoying than the ads during the streams. You say this is the second year without your dad, so it's still not easy. I'm great at putting on a fake smile and being involved with my family, but it's still hard. And Misfit, you know what? I can imagine. I think I have told you before, me and my dad weren't close. And also my dad has also been gone for just about 15 years now. So I think with time it does become a lot better. You still look 15 years later, and I still, even though my dad and I didn't have a close relationship, 15 years later, I am still thinking about him. I have to admit, at least once or twice a week. I think the sad part is that my dad passed away without ever meeting his grandson, and I think that's a real sad thought. But you know, eventually life goes on, and you yeah, life just goes on, and I can't say that I don't have any regrets with regards to the relationship I had with my dad, but I have accepted things for what it is, and I guess I've moved on, even though, like I say, I still think about him at least once or twice a week. Suleiman, if YouTube doesn't allow your words, have you tried maybe going on Twitch and giving us your recipes? Maybe YouTube is just being funny with you. Or do you think Twitch is worse? Yes, Misfit, it is sad, but like I say, I've learned to move on and go on with life. I mean, the thing with my dad is very sad and whatnot. But I've always said, and I strongly believe in the fact that we shouldn't live in the past. We should live in the future, and these people that we have lost along the way, remember the good times. And I wouldn't say that makes it easier, but it's I mean, what's the point in remembering anything other than the good times? I mean, yes, Suleiman, so you say you've never had the opportunity to see your granddad? He passed away when you were younger than 2 years old. So, yes, and that's exactly the thing. That's like I say, my son never got to meet his grandfather. I think my son was 6 months old when my father passed away. And we lived quite far from each other, so it was just not possible to get together before he passed away. So you are basically in the same situation as my son is at the moment. At least I have to say my son has his grandfather on my wife's side, and well, I have to say they do argue a lot, but it is look, my father-in-law has 2 grandsons, so it's my son and then he's got another grandson, but my son and his grandfather are very close, even though, like I say, they do argue a lot and they are always at each other's throats. Sounds bad if I say it like that, but they'll always find something to argue about, and but they do truly love each other, and that's actually so nice to see. Yes, Suleiman, that's exactly it. They are in a better place. We have to believe that they are in a better place, and like I say, we have to go on with life. Susie! Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever time it is over there, and welcome in. So glad to see you. How has your day been? But all right, Misfit and Suleiman, let's can we talk about more pleasant topics? Yes, mood switch, please. Look, I honestly don't mind speaking about these things, but yes, I think mood switch. So Susie, before we got into the previous topic, we were talking about plans for Christmas. So do you guys do you celebrate Christmas? Do you have any interesting plans for Christmas? Happy things. I'm struggling with the pups right now. That's happy. Yes, I even though you say you are struggling with them, I would assume that you are happy to struggle with them. Yes, and Suleiman, you can go ahead with the next recipe. I mean, let's see what you've got for us. As long as you don't use words that YouTube don't like. One on each side, that's perfect. Susie, we do mostly just celebrating with close family. And yes, Susie, that's also something that we've discussed earlier, is that these days, I think a lot more people are into exactly that. It's not these big get-togethers anymore. It's more about celebrating with close family than these big get-togethers. I just want to get a little bit of a lever in here so that we can take away this torch. Is that on or off now? Looks on. Oh, going to the hubby's company's Christmas dinner. You know, I always... Look, my company never does these Christmas dinners. My wife's company does, I think every second year they do it. And that's always fun. And I mean, they really do try and make it fun and involve the family, the kids, and the kids as well. They usually plan an event, or like one year they will plan an event where the kids are welcome, and then the next year they'll plan something more formal. Suleiman, mostly hydrogen, some helium, mass should be big enough to start nuclear fusion. Spin it good enough and done your very own star. All right, so that's how you make a star. All right, Misfit, you say last year they bought dinner. This year we have to buy our own, but it's about getting together, so it should be fun. And you know what, Misfits, I'm a little bit torn when it comes to that. I feel if a company wants to have a Christmas dinner for staff, for employees, they should buy, they should provide. But I also understand the economic times the whole world is going through. If you just think about the cost of doing something like that, it is astronomical. So, and as you say, it's more about getting together. And yeah, so the way that I feel about it, especially like with my wife's Christmas dinners as well at work, it is more about getting together and spending time with colleagues outside of work. I mean, we work with those people, or if your company does it, you basically work with those people every day of the year, except for a few days that you're not at work. And it's important to have those little, I almost want to say, informal events with staff, just to like, let's say, let your hair down, just to be, have a little casual get together with staff. I think that does, and it boosts morale for staff as well, I think. Our company is us. Farmers are their own business and worker, and we don't do Christmas dinner. Suleiman, so are your family farmers? I never knew that. I never knew your family are farmers. I grew up on a farm. My grandfather was a very successful farmer. But I think my grandfather, well, if he lived a little longer, then my family might still be into farming. Because my father and my father's brothers were too young to take over the farm. So eventually, we still had the farms up until recently. But there was just no interest in farming from my father and his brothers. So eventually, the family had to sell the farms. Suleiman, if your parents are farmers, then I would expect you to be helping out on the farm. Farm work isn't easy, and so I would expect any children that grows up on a farm, listen, you live in Turkey, which I think we all know. Your country's farms so much things that you started eating roses. Didn't you think that much? But we've discussed the roses earlier, and I've had rose petals. I've eaten it. I can't say that I've done it recently, but rose water is a thing to flavor all sorts of dishes. So, Misfits, have you ever had rose flavored food? Like food with either with roses in or rose water? I think it does give quite a unique taste. Definitely not to everybody's taste, but it's definitely a unique taste. Suleiman, was it you that spoke about the rose flavored Turkish delight? You also eat sheep intestines, heads, knees, and pretty much every part of the sheep other than skin. Pets eat the bones. Look, Solomon, so over here in South Africa, we also eat the intestines of the sheep, heads and knees. We also eat pretty much every part of the sheep. Personally, I don't feed my dogs any bones. But yes, so you're not the only part. Look, I must admit, I don't enjoy sheep intestines. We call it, we make a dish called, I think they call it tripe, which is all the intestines, the stomach, and all those inside parts of the sheep. Now that's definitely not my favorite sort of meal, but I have eaten it, and it's not like, you know, if you think about intestines, it sounds gross, but it's not, like I say, it's not a dish that I will make for myself, and I wouldn't eat it in a restaurant if it was on the menu. But if I am offered some, I wouldn't say no. That makes sense. I guess to be polite, I would definitely eat it. But I wouldn't make it for myself. Finally, someone who can relate to eating sheep intestines. Look, it is a very popular dish over here, in some cultures. And then when it gets to sheep heads, I always find that you get the softest meat in the heads. And Misfit, I hope we are not grossing you out. I don't know if that's something you would try. But yes, like I say, I find that in the head, you find the softest meat. Oh, Misfit, you actually been looking for all that to make for your dogs? When I lived up north, I could get all the bits and pieces from the butcher. Down here, not so much. Misfit, I think over here, and I would assume in Turkey as well, it would be blasphemous to feed it to your dogs. It is, like I said, it is quite a traditional dish. And yeah, especially like, I don't know, Suleiman, when we make the intestines, we use, we make a nice curry of it. That always goes down well. Yes, you say other countries think it's gross, but they also eat clams, which feed off trash and microbes via filter feeding. Yes, I think when it gets to food, and a lot of these things that people eat, as long as you don't know how it's made or where it comes from, you don't really get grossed out by it. But the moment people find out, oh, people will tell you, geez, this is a nice dish and all that, until they find out what it is that they actually eat, and then suddenly it's not nice anymore. I know there's a lot of things that I used to eat as a child, and then as I grew up and I found out what it is that I'm really eating, then I stopped eating it. No, Misfit, definitely. Every culture is different and none of it is wrong. Because when it gets to cultural things, and even, and listen, don't get me wrong, I don't want to talk about any religious stuff, but even when it comes to religion, there's so many different religions out there. How can anybody say one religion is wrong? But yes, like I say, I don't want to really go into that. But the point I'm making is just that when it comes to traditions and cultures, you can't really say the one tradition or culture is wrong, because what do you base it on? You will usually base it on what you believe, and that doesn't mean the other party is wrong in any way, shape or form. It all comes down to history. Yes, Suleiman, I believe it all comes down to history. Your political scene. Best viewers. Oh my, nice. Have you ever heard of a mobile country? A country that doesn't stay in place for long? It's not a tribe, it's a whole country. That's Turkey's history before Ottoman. Yes, listen, Suleiman, yes, I am aware of that. I have in the past read a lot of very accurate historical fiction that and one of the series of books that I read was actually took place during and before the Ottoman Empire. So a lot of the facts in there, this writer that I read the historical fiction on, he's very well known for really doing his homework and actually using real life facts. So I do have a little bit of knowledge about all of that. And that's also, I think I have told you once that I am very much interested in history all over the world. I find history really interesting, and I find it interesting looking into history in general, not just any specific area of it. I find it very entertaining. Geez, this water under here is now making this take so much longer than what it was supposed to take. I thought I was just gonna come in here, dig a hole, and build some redstone. But apparently the Minecraft gods didn't think that was a good idea. Because we didn't stay in one place, so we moved, mostly benefited from animals, so nothing goes to waste. And yes, Suleiman, I am 100% with you when you say nothing goes to waste. Like I said, I myself has also grown up with that, where nothing goes to waste. You can't waste anything. Okay, you say you've got 2 more simple recipes for God from yapping, but isn't yapping fun? I enjoy it when we yap about all sorts of things. I am having a drink, Misfit, thank you. That's why I did the hydrate myself, because nobody else is doing it. And now I almost finished all my water. So I might need to get up and go get some more later on. It's alright, Misfit. Don't worry about it. You should see, yes, and then you're welcome to let me know if you can think of anything interesting we can add. And I would say Solomon can also have a look and let me know if there's anything interesting he thinks I should add. But I think from what I know, he prefers watching the stream on YouTube and not really Twitch. Let me just get out of the water. But you made a promise yesterday to give you 5 recipes today. I can't let you down. Never gonna give you up. Well, thank you, Solomon. I do appreciate it. And yes, you can ask Misfits about promises being promises and deals being deals. Yes, Misfits, I know it's harder than you think to come up with good redeems. And that's, I have to admit, that's definitely not something that I am good with. I do think that I can be creative on a good day, but I'm definitely not the world's most creative person. And it doesn't really bother me not being too creative. I mean, each person has its own strengths and weaknesses, and I wouldn't necessarily go as far as saying creativity is a weakness for me. Like I say, I do have my moments. I rickrolled you without you noticing. What? Yes, whatever do you mean? Are you talking about the part of I can't let you down, never gonna give you up? Being from a very popular song lyrics, I think. I guess. Yes, I did notice that, but I did say thank you, Soliman. I said thank you very much for never going to let me go and never going to give me up and all those nice things that you said. I do listen sometimes. I wouldn't say all of the time, but sometimes, most of the time, I do pay attention. Kind of, sort of. But even though I've got this aqua affinity and respiration helmet, I am still trying not to drown also. Yes, Misfit, you didn't go a whole stream without shaders or anything because someone couldn't get his cat. And that's exactly why I, to be honest, Misfit, I kind of don't do much of the no shaders anymore for you because I feel that I've had my fill. But I was speaking to someone in a stream the other day about these redeems. So what we were discussing was that, don't you find that redeems sometimes become a little I think irritating is the wrong word to use, but don't you feel sometimes it becomes a little bit too much? Yes, I did still get my cat, even though it wasn't the way it was supposed to be. But like I also told you, I wouldn't have been mad or thought anything less of you if you didn't go the whole stream without shaders. When we made that deal, I was doing it more as a joke than anything else, but definitely kudos to you for actually going through with it. That says a lot about your character and about who you are, I think, in my opinion. No, but exactly, a promise is a promise, and a deal is a deal. I agree with you on that. But like I say, there wouldn't have been any hard feelings if you didn't go through with it. And that's something that I want you to just know and understand. Sometimes I will get a little bit or I might go a little bit too far in the stream with regards to my comments, and I might just go over the top sometimes. And if I do, you're more than welcome to point it out to me and tell me, listen, whoa, that's not on. And listen, where's Suleiman now? I'm waiting for the next recipe. Or is it such a long one that he's still typing? Ah, there it comes through just as I am asking about it. Some uranium, a bit of tungsten, an electrical charge. You know what this recipe is? Listen, no, Solomon, no idea at all. Please do enlighten me. No, all right, Misfit, if you haven't noticed me doing anything like that ever, then I assume I have never gone too far over the top. You know what happens sometimes? I get frustrated at work, and then I enjoy. Oh, uranium tungsten. I should have guessed it's a nuke. Now that you say it, it makes sense, Suleiman. Definitely. Sorry, yes, Misfit, as I said, sometimes I get frustrated at work, and when I watch your streams, it just gives me a little bit of a release from that stress at work, and sometimes I can say things that might be a little bit edgy, or that some people might find a little bit edgy. And if that ever happens, don't think twice about pointing it out. My boss and I always have this thing where we say we've got broad shoulders. We can take criticism, and if we are wrong in any way, we are more than willing to admit our faults, basically. Yes, you haven't noticed because you have two boys that can be crazy, so I probably wouldn't even notice. And they are probably, or I am probably no match for them. That's why you wouldn't notice. Okay, silly fit. Oh, silly fit. Did you just catch that? Silly fit. Misfit, some Minecraft, a bit of Turkish, a nice streamer, and a lot of yapping. I have absolutely no idea. I would laugh at me before you. That I promise. All right, miss it. Yes, Suleiman, I did actually think you were talking about my streams. But do you really think I yap too much? Do you? There's a redeem for you on Twitch. Eh? If you ever decide to watch the Twitch streams, I think I've got a redeem on there that says I must be quiet for 3 minutes. If you think I yap too much, that's the ideal one for you, but I think it's pretty expensive. Yes, Misfits, that was a good recipe, ne? Look, and yes, Suleiman, we all yap, and that's, you know what, I've told Misfit before that, Bonji, welcome, thank you for checking in. I appreciate you being here on Twitch and YouTube. And you see what the problem is with these redeems. They come through while I am yapping, and then they distract me, and I totally forget what I was yapping about. No, I only welcomed you to Twitch. You've been on YouTube all the time, so I had to welcome you on Twitch as well when you checked in. Batty Bird, welcome in. Good evening. How are you doing? We are just having a little yap and just have a look at the work I've done over the last hour and 5 minutes. Impressive, isn't it? I've dug out a hole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by, well, let's say 9 by 20 by 5 hole in an hour and 5 minutes. That's impressive. Probably because we are yapping too much and doing too little. So much so fast. Yes, Barry. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Ponchi, because it's definitely because you're not the same person. No, your names are different, so you cannot be the same person. Yes, I'm working hard today. Very, very much so. What, Misfits, are you saying? Is Barry getting an igloo home tomorrow? Are you building an igloo in the family server for Barry? Betty, because you are special, my friend. Well, I assume as much. I'm only making assumptions here. But you are special. Definitely, that's not an assumption. But the fact that you are getting an igloo, that's the assumption here. Alrighty, but I think this is going to be enough space to do what I want to do. Oh, he needed a friend. I found one and needed a name fast. Barry was on and commented, so I named the other bear Barry. They need a home. Alright, I understand. That makes perfect sense. Just hold on a second for me. Alright, I actually wanted to make my second screen a little bigger. So guys, Misfit, you've been on the Twitch stream quite a while tonight. Any issues, any hiccups on the stream side on Twitch tonight? Oh, Suleiman, you didn't write that on Twitch. That's all right. If the Twitch persona is doing his own thing, we can live with it as long as he doesn't say anything that gets him banned. That's more than all right. Message didn't go. I was asking if you knew about my polar bear Fluffy. Yeah, Fluffy? Which one is Fluffy? I know about the polar bears. Oh, you've already got 3 out of the 6 bugs fixed? Betty, yes, I will download that on, that pack of yours on Wednesday. I do have the day off on Wednesday, so I am going to spend a little bit of time with my wife and son on Wednesday, but I'm sure I'll find time to actually install that on a fresh world so that I can check it out. Raisin, join us. Join Raisin. Ponchikim might be part of the lore of my solo world, it would seem. Okay, Misfit, you said it just glitched for a second, but that could have been on your end. Closed, then reopened, and now it works. Alright, you know what? I'm seeing the same thing on my Twitch dashboard, that the stream just sort of disappeared. I just refreshed it, and it seems to still show excellent connection. So well, as long as it doesn't, Misfit, you were streaming last night when I was on, and Barry was here for a while, and I think before Barry came in, I had a horrible Twitch experience again, continually disconnecting and all that. So that's all why I'm asking. So Misfit Fluffy was the first bear by the Christmas stuff. Yes, so that one I know about. I have seen Fluffy before. Oh, yes, I did notice a world, so maybe I'll just install that world and play on it and see. And then I'll obviously give you any feedback that I can. Any bugs that I find, I'll definitely let you know if there is any. Resin infected Twitch, it's not important. It might be resin that's causing all the problems on Twitch though. Yes, yes, Ponchikim, you are important. We know that. Just look deep into my eyes and see that I'm telling the truth. Yes, same kind of network traffic going on today too. Suleiman, I think you are busy confusing yourself now, and all of us in the process. I should probably grab a bed as well. Because while I'm working down there underground, I don't always realize when the sun goes down. And I might just get a surprise mob attack when I go above ground. So let's see if we can quickly just grab another bed. All right, Suleiman, you must have a lovely evening further. Please take Reason with you. Let Ponchikim also go to sleep. And I'll definitely catch you tomorrow. I think, as I said before, tomorrow we will be in the solo world. And since I've got Wednesday off, I might actually stream a little bit longer tomorrow. We'll see. All right, Ponchikim and Suleiman, good evening. Have a lovely evening further. Enjoy your sleep. Again, as I told you the other day, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And all that. I'll catch you in the next stream. Wrong quote. Really? If that's my quote, then it's never the wrong quote. Even if I mess the quote up sometimes, it's never the wrong one. Never, ever, ever. Yes, Misfit, tomorrow is the solo world. I think I need to switch it up. Because as I've told you, sometimes the SMP becomes a little bit much for me personally, since I'm not used to playing on an SMP. But Yes, Batty, I will definitely enjoy it. Um, we'll see what we get up to. Um, all right, Soliman. All right, we understand. Now, before I am going to go into decorating this little hole, I think I want to get the redstone in first, if I can remember how to do it. But Misfit, here's actually, I think, an opportunity for you to learn something. Learn something while I try to remember how to do it. Did I steal your bed? I don't know. Can I? Is it possible for me to steal a bed out of a world that I'm not connected to? If it's possible, yes, then I probably did. But when I'm in the solo world, I'll give you a stack of wool just to make up for it. Alright? Then you can make, what, 21 beds from a stack of wool? Is that going to be enough? Oh no, guys, I see we've got an ad incoming on Twitch within the next 2.5 minutes or so. It's only 90 seconds though. Learning stairs wasn't enough today. No, but Misfit, this learning is just it's not really learning. Well, I just grabbed a green bed because the other day, when I was building the Christmas village, I went to the store at Spawn and bought a stack of green of lime wool. And I've got plenty of it left. That's the only reason why I've got a green bed. I've got no particular reason for making a green bed other than that's the wool that I've got. um, and come to think of it, I can't say that I've got a favorite color of bed in Minecraft. I think on the one end, I still tend to usually go for a red bed if I have to pick one. But I don't have any favorites to speak of. All right, let's see if I've got everything I need to make these item filters. So we are going to need iron. I'm going to need a few hoppers. So let's see if we can go and make all the goodies we need to make these item filters. Misfits, have you ever tried making a filter system? You say it's green because that's your favorite color. If I have to pick a favorite color, I would say I usually tend to go with either green or purple. I do like purple, and I do like green as well. What does my skin look like under the armor? I can show you. the server is going to allow me to open a chest, I'll show you. So yes, it is a custom skin that I made myself. Kind of still a work in progress. So yes, there's my little skin. Totally made it myself. So I've the story behind the skin. I've been so my nickname in school used to be Rhino. They're like rhinoceros, rhino, and that sort of stuck with me right through high school. I've always used the username Rhino 888 or Rhino 8 wherever I went online, and yes, it just kind of stuck. And so when I made the skin, I went for something that looks a little bit, well, it's supposed to look like a little bit of a rhino face, even though with time I changed the eyes so that I can have the blinking eyes and all that. But yes, not much of a story time. There's debate about why I got the nickname, or there's two versions of the story, and I really don't know which one is true anymore. Or I guess both of them has a little bit of truth in it. But yes, the skin comes from that nickname I used to have, which I still have. If I still, when I speak to my old school friends, there's two of them that still calls me Rhino. Well, with one of them, their friends doesn't even know my real name because it's always just been Rhino. So I'm going to need a few hoppers. I don't know how many exactly. For the filter system, I'm going to need 4. That's 2 per filter. But I think let's just make as many as I can, because hoppers are always super useful. You say messages are going through too slow. That's all right. That gives me time to do other things while still actively engaging in chat. Don't you think? It gives me the opportunity to keep my thoughts together, my mind together, or whatever, however we want to phrase that. Ooh, got gold. Gold. Plenty of gold. can't remember why I was smelting all of it. You were making hoppers and this just went through now. I can't imagine why that would be. Is it lagging? That sucks. We were having such a good time. The stream was doing so great. Is it only the chat that's lagging, or is it the stream on Twitch that's lagging? Because on my side, on my second screen, I don't see. I do know, Barry, I am struggling with server lag. I'm currently playing with about a 310 ping. So if I step on this pressure plate or open a chest, you'll see there's a bit of lagging action going on. But I've learned to kind of just play with it. Sometimes it's worse than other times. But yes, it comes and goes. Sometimes it's better and other times it's worse. It goes fast for me, but to show up on your screen, it's taking a while. And it's just chat, not streaming at all. Alright, so that's not too much of a problem. The thing is, I can I can look on my second monitor, or third monitor, but I don't have enough space on my desk to have all three monitors next to each other. So the third monitor is literally on a table next to me. So I literally have to turn my head almost about 90 degrees to see that monitor. And that one has got the Twitch dashboard open, so there the chats might be coming through much faster. I know the on-screen chat I have seen does have a little bit more of a delay. As long as the stream is doing good, I think I can yap enough to fill in the dead space between the chats coming through. Don't think that's a problem. There seems to be a network outage in South America, so your routing has changed starting yesterday. Betty, that might be possible. And you know, I used to always be on top of these network things, but since I don't work in IT anymore, I sort of just stopped following all of those things. But I mean, I must say, if I think back of all the drama and issues I've had with the stream yesterday, today feels like a dream. It feels like it's really smooth. And now, just look. Did you see now how long this door took to open? When I stand on the pressure plate. And how long these chests took to open. I just want to grab something that I can maybe use for my redstone. And then I think we can go and build a little bit of redstone thingies. I will need a little bit of sticks as well. And stone. I'm definitely going to need some stone. I believe that'll be sufficient. Stream is going smooth, so we are good. That's always good to hear. I'm just gonna grab a crafting table as well, then let's go over and see. Maybe I should... You get to learn stuff. I think it's pretty basic stuff. I just need to remember what I want to teach you. Alright, let's go and see if we can do this. The thing is, like I say, Misfits, I need to remember how to do it before I can teach you how to do it. You see, we've been here for a while, and the chest is only halfway full because my minecart stopped moving. Why did that happen? Ow. Ow. Not what I wanted. Oh, wait. Let's take a page out of Misfit's book. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Must fall off there. So let's just get this minecart back up and running. Now what is... Oh, I understand. Now it should work. Alrighty, there it goes. Yeah, splat, yes. It wasn't that much of a splat. It was only a little splat. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to do this. So we're going to have... see, how are we going to do this? Because I want to filter the pumpkins and the melons out. Alright, so I think we start with the... That's Misfit's command to say I meant to do that. Yes, maybe I must also set it up. I think it's like, well, no, maybe let's go back one. something like this, I believe. Okay, just give me a second here to just go and grab a little bit of water. I'll be right back. Give me a minute or two. All right. I've got a little bit of water, and I absolutely did not look up how to do this just now. So I need to get my little crafting table. And we're going to make a few redstone torches, because we need them. And then we need 2 comparators. And we need... oh, definitely more redstone torches. Now, how do you make a repeater? 2 redstone torches. Okay, I don't have the redstone. So we need 2 repeaters as well. And I should probably have a chest so that I can just put away some of these things from my inventory. Sure. Misfit, you don't need to believe me, honestly. If you see me struggling to do this still, you will realize that I didn't look it up. Okay, so we need a repeater pointing that way. Then we need to not switch off the minecart track. In 2, 3 redstone like that. This isn't going to work, because the redstone is being powered by the levers above. So I am going to have to bring it down. So there. So it's going to have to be. Now, where's my other? Oh, there you are. So first thing, comparator, then 3 pieces of redstone, and we put a repeater in there, right? Then we need a hopper pointing into that. Well, it doesn't necessarily need to point into the comparator, but I usually do it that way. We need a chest down below and a hopper pointing into that chest. And then we need to do this again for the pumpkins. One for pumpkins, one for melons. Well, for now, let's just do like a double chest. And then we need a redstone torch right there, I believe. Then we can just do another one of these. So there you put a hopper facing in there, and we grab not a hopper. I just demonstrated where the chest needs to go. There you go. All right, and then I'm going to need a little bit of an anvil action. All right, so Misfit, this is basically an item filter. So one is going to filter pumpkins, and the other one is going to filter melons. And all right, so then the next thing we need to do, we'll just rename these mangrove roots into, what can we name them? Missed opportunities. Seems like as good a name as anything else. Alright, so now we need to set up the filters. They're just going to put one missed opportunity in each of these 4 slots on both of the hoppers. Like so. And then we're just going to grab pumpkin and a melon to put into the remaining slots. And that's about it. Now we can start. Okay, before we start, let me just set up like a little bit of an overflow chest. And now you just put a hopper line in like this, all pointing into one another. Then like so. And then connect it up to the chest. So now you will see, yes, if you look carefully, you can see the melons are being tucked out of the chest. Yes, great name, thank you. You can see over here, you can see this item hopper here with the melon slices is now pulling the only melon slices from the chest. And then as soon as it's done with the melon slices, you'll start noticing the pumpkins going into the other chest. And anything that's in there that's not melon slices or pumpkins will end up in this overflow chest. And that is as easy as it is to set up a item filter. Okay, so let's just, I want to put the pumpkins in the first slot so that we can just make sure this is only melon slices coming in here, and that will only be pumpkins going in there. And then if anything else were to end up in this chest, which we can demonstrate by placing a few blocks of dirt in there, you will see the dirt is going to end up over here in the overflow chest. Or it's supposed to. Where is my dirt? Dirt can come in here. Why is the dirt getting stuck somewhere? Dirt can't go in there. Oh, it might not be sucking out the dirt yet because it's still... I did take the dirt. Where did the dirt go? Because the dirt should end up... Why is the dirt stuck in here? Oh... I know why the dirt is stuck in there. Because this lever over here is preventing the dirt from going any further. The switch above the hopper, you are absolutely right, Batty Bird. Ah. So then that means I'm going to have to drop this thing even further. Because I can't take out this switch, because then the rails on top isn't going to work. But alright, that's not... You can just take out that hopper to stop this whole thing. Then I'm just going to have to drop the sort filter even further down. Jeez, doing redstone on stream. Probably not the best idea, is it? That means I'm going to have to redo all of this again. Alright, let's just add all of these back in there. And then we will try it all again. But you see, Misfit, the point of this exercise is that I'm trying to show you how to do it. So me having to do it a second time, is just to make sure you understand how it works. Alright? So we're just going to do it again, just to make sure Misfit understands how to do it, so that she can, tomorrow in her world, she can maybe build her own item filter. Yes, exactly. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So let's just make a little bit more space so that we can demonstrate it again. So you put your blocks right up there like that. And because we want to filter two different things, we have it 2 times. And the repeaters go in there. The comparators goes over there. Pick up our redstone so that we can bring it down like that. How did I go too low now? So let's just do it one more time. I feel that it's necessary to just make sure everybody understands how to do this. So let's just go one more time. That. And you'll notice, Misfit, I'm doing it in a different order every time, just so that you can sort of see. You shouldn't put the comparator over here, right? It needs to be on the first block. See, I'm just doing it so that I can explain everything properly. So listen carefully now, right? Oh my word. It's always fun if you place things in the wrong way. But isn't that just the first principle of Minecraft? You are going to redo things a million times before it works the way you want it to. But this time we've got it. Alright, goes in there. Then we put our filler items. Okay, you see, Misfit, so if you put any items in this hopper, before you put the redstone torch down here, the items isn't going to stay in the hopper, it's going to filter through into the chest. Alright, so it's very important to put this torch over here. Now you will see if I put the items in here, they are going to stay. Then if we do this one, we put the filler items, the missed opportunities, we put them in there. And then we can put a pumpkin in, and we can put a melon slice in. So now the filter is set up again. Now we can just bring over our overflow chest. We can just connect the hopper line again. Like so. Make sure all the hoppers goes into one another. There, let's quickly just throw some grass in there, because we want to make sure the grass goes into the overflow chest. There you see, the grass is in the overflow chest. Perfect item filter, and we've done it right the first time. First time, every time, working perfectly. Right, and like I say, any item, so this farm should only collect melons and pumpkins, because if I could just figure out how an elytra works, I can show you that there's absolutely no way of anything else getting into the farm. So what we're going to do, yay, Misfits, we've done it. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to let these two chests, and I think it could actually maybe be single chests. I don't need it to be double chests. Could be single, because that's just going to be a little bit of backup. Now I'm thinking, because I actually want to make melons automatically from the melon slices, but that's all right. We'll figure that out next time. Because I think it is time for me to say good night. It's been such a hard job. Yes, Misfit, you can go, you can take your time going to the store, because I'm going to bed now. So, but before I go, right? Just want to make sure. Yo, now we're getting it. Server lag, just look at that. Took probably about the best part of 30 seconds to open that chest. But yes, so we've got the filter system in. Misfit, Batty Bird, thank you so much for both of you sticking with me. And listen, before we go, right? I hope you guys don't mind our little friend Suleiman. I think Misfit, Suleiman is kind of my muck. Like, you've got Muxton, I've got Suleiman, and they can be a little bit let's say they can be a little bit different at times. But yeah, so I hope you guys don't mind him. He's just being silly. And then thank you both for joining me. Thank you both for sticking with me during the stream. I will definitely catch you all again next time. I think this was definitely a fun experience. So, but tomorrow will be Solo World, and then on Wednesday I plan to play with Batty Bird's resource pack. So, but anyway, thank you all. Good night. Have a lovely day further, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.